Welcome back. I'm Dr. Cheek, and here's another installment of We Need to Talk. And what we need to talk about today is these connections that we're making with people around us. And I'm trying to understand, and I wonder if we sometimes think about if these are true connections that we're making, or are these false connections that we are recreating of past situations or past relationships that we've already been in, and we're just not recognizing the pattern in those relationships or those situations. So we sometimes find ourselves in these relationships, whether we're starting a new relationship, whether we are years into a relationship, whether we're starting a new friendship or trying to build a friendship or continuing to progress in a friendship. We find ourselves in this space where the energy, the conversation, and the connection almost feels kismet. And if you're not sure what kismet means, kismet simply means that something that was brought together, a connection or something that was brought together by fate or by divine interaction. And I almost wonder if you've ever thought about if the relationship is a true connection, or is it simply just your ex 2.0? Or that troubled friend 2.0, or that situationship, or that responsibility that you feel like you need to take on because you've had to do it your entire life 2.0, or that relationship with your uninvolved or your emotionally disconnected or detached parent 2.0, or that any other problematic relationship that you've had 2.0. Is it a real strong connection, or is it simply a repeat of situations that you've found yourself in time and time again? And that's what we're going to talk about today. And there are some questions that you could ask yourself to determine if this is truly a fated connection, or is it just a repeat of problematic or unsustainable relationships that you found yourself in time and time again. Are you in this rinse and repeat cycle of relationships? And it can happen to anyone, no matter how intelligent or well-informed you are. Whether you are highly intellectual or you have high common sense, that logic sometimes does not have the ability to override what our heart and our emotions want. Because when it comes to the matter of the heart, sometimes logic just does not apply. When it comes to emotions, sometimes logic just does not apply. And we want to apply logic to it. And most of the times that logic doesn't fare out because we still say, but I feel connected to this person. I know logically I can see all of these things and I hear what you're saying, but I still feel drawn or pulled to this person. And when we feel that strong connection to someone, we have to ask ourselves a lot of different questions. So some of those questions you may ask yourself when you meet someone and you find that you're in a place where you're saying, this person feels so familiar. I just met this person. It feels like I've known them for my entire life. We talk with this level of ease that I've never had with anyone else. I'm able to have such a strong connection or a strong bond with them. And I don't quite understand why. If you find yourself in that position, ask yourself, does this person seem familiar? Or who does this person remind you of? And who this person reminds you of, not just when you're angry with this person or you found that you've had a disagreement, so you're looking at them with a different lens, but when you are also infatuated with this person, when you have the rose-colored glasses on, ask yourself, does this connection or does my interaction with this person seem familiar? Have I had this with someone else? And not just a romantic partner. Have I had this with a friend before? Have I had this with a parent, this type of connection with a parent before? Have I had this with someone else in my life? Is this connection or is this familiarity with this person something I've felt or seen before? And start to examine that a little bit and say, am I recreating a relationship that I'm just not making space for because I'm assuming that this recreated relationship has to be in the realm of romantic, when in actuality it could be in the realm of another type of relationship that I've had that was also problematic and also ended in a different or difficult way. Another thing you may want to ask yourself is, am I overlooking some really important flaws because I'm trying to maintain this connection? Am I overlooking things that I know are problematic because I'm saying to myself, but I feel really comfortable with this person, but I like having this person to talk to? So am I overlooking some of their problematic behaviors? Am I overlooking their inability to maybe disagree effectively? Am I overlooking their tendency to not want to communicate about subjects that feel uncomfortable to them. But I'm looking over it because we're able to talk about everything else. So maybe we're not able to talk about this particular subject yet, but maybe they'll eventually be open to talking about that. Maybe we're just too new in this situation that they're not willing to have this conversation. Am I making excuses for things that I see as flaws because I'm just building this connection and I want to try to maintain this connection? So I see these flaws, but I'm making excuses as to why those flaws may exist. What am I overlooking because I'm trying to maintain this connection? And something else you may want to ask yourself is, how do I truly feel when I'm with this person? Or how does this person truly make me feel, as opposed to how do I want this person to make me feel? We sometimes, and we are more likely, because we are human and we are able to see the potential in people that they can't see in themselves. And it's not necessarily a flaw, and it's not necessarily a bad thing to be able to see the potential in someone else. However, when we use that potential to determine how we feel with this person right now, then that may become problematic, because we may start to fall in love with their potential as opposed to the reality of how we truly feel with this person, or how this person truly makes us feel. If you feel like, I know because of the way this person talks, I know because of this way this person interacts with me, I know because this person have talked about doing it with other people, that they have the ability to treat me in this way, and I would feel so wonderful if they did these things. But right now, how I truly feel is that I like them, we're connecting, but I don't really feel like they see me sometimes. I don't really feel like they are wanting to build with me. I don't really feel like we are truly connecting. How is this person truly making you feel, as opposed to what you want to feel with this person because you see their potential and you're overlooking the reality of the situation? Because not everybody is wanting to live up to the potential that you're able to see in them. Something else you may want to ask yourself is, if nothing changes with myself or with them, can I or will I want to maintain this relationship? So let's say we go into it and we're still looking at the potential, because that's what we maintain new relationships based off of, is sometimes the potential and the effort that someone is putting in. And that same potential and that effort has to come with some level of change eventually, or it's simply just wasted potential, or it's not a full-hearted effort. It may be a half-hearted effort that they are simply giving lip service to because it feels good in the moment and because they want to maintain the connection as well. So in this moment, if nothing ever changes, can you and will you want to maintain that relationship? And maybe the change needs to happen with you. Are you willing to make the changes to make that relationship work? Are you willing to make those changes to see the potential or to get a full-hearted effort from this person? And if not, again, do I want to stay in this how it is right now? And lastly, what you may want to ask yourself goes in line with everything I've talked about up until this point is, am I solely focused on the possibility and the potential of this person or this relationship as opposed to the reality? For most of us, because as a human species, I find that most people are willing to give others the benefit of the doubt in a lot of situations where they may not be deserving of that benefit of the doubt. So in these potential relationships, in these already established relationships, are we giving people the benefit of the doubt that's not deserving? Are we so focused on who they have the possibility to become to us that we're not seeing who they actually are now and who they're willing to become? Again, you can see the potential in everyone. Someone can see the potential in you, and the potential that they're looking at within you is not something that you're wanting to achieve. It's not someone who you're wanting to be. So simply seeing the potential in someone is not enough, especially if they aren't wanting to live up to that potential or live up to that expectation we may have of them. Be honest with yourself about the reality of who you're with. And as I'm talking through each one of these, they can apply to a romantic relationship. They can even apply to a friendship. They can apply to any relationship that we have with people where we're building or creating or maintaining connections. Because just like we continue to find ourselves in the same romantic relationships, sometimes we tend to find ourselves in the same unhelpful or unhealthy friendships, where we're maybe always arguing, or we're the person that's always helping. We are the person that is always reliable, but you aren't able to get that reciprocated in these relationships. So ask yourself, Is this a kismet connection? Is this new relationship partner with someone I feel connected to because we are just so in tune with one another that we are able to connect in a way that I haven't found before? Or are we connecting because I'm finding myself in a relationship with someone that I've been in a relationship with before and it was problematic and they seem familiar because they are a recreation of the same person that I've been with before time and time again, with maybe some slight changes or some slight tweaks that make me feel like that they're somewhat different than this person. But if I allow myself to give myself time to see who this person truly is, then I see that they're probably exactly like this other person. But I don't ever notice that until I get so upset that I can't maintain my emotions. Then I'm gonna say, you're just like my ex, or you're just like this other friend that I had, or you're just like this person, or you're just like my parent, mother, father, whoever it is. Then you're able to see it. But in the moment, you're not able to see it because it feels like such a strong connection. So if at some point you find yourself in a relationship or in these same relationships or romantic relationships or friendships time and time again, and it seems like it's the same person in a different body, start to slow down and examine for yourself. Why do you keep connecting to the same type of person? What are you trying to fix? What are you trying to recreate so you can have a different outcome? What is it about this person that you are connecting to right now that feels like this sense of familiarity that you just want to hold on to, grab onto with both hands and never let go? Is it because you are in tune with this person? Or is it because this person is a reminder of someone that you haven't thought about them being a reminder for in this moment? And we need to talk because there are a lot of superficial or unhealthy relationships that maintain because we have this idea of this connection that we had and we're trying to maintain that connection, knowing all the while sometimes and not knowing sometimes that the reason why we're holding on so tight to these connections is less because we feel connected and comfortable with this person and more because we feel comfortable in the presence of this person because we've been in the presence of this person for most of our lives. It's just a different body. But this personality, this engagement with me, this connection to me is so similar because I've had this person in my life in many different forms. And I just haven't taken the time to take a step back and say, I keep running into the same type of person. Why? Ask yourself the questions I've asked you today. If you're starting a new connection, if you're maintaining an existing connection, and you keep finding yourself focused on the potential as opposed to reality, ask yourself those questions and see if you're trying to fix something or recreate something unknowingly to yourself. And maybe you can break that cycle of a rinse and repeat of old friendship patterns or old romantic relationship patterns and start to form some new, stronger connections that are built on the reality as opposed to the possibilities. And that is why we needed to talk today. I hope you take something from this video today that was helpful. I hope you take something from this video that was informative. As always, please jot down any thoughts, questions, or comments you have below. I thank you for taking the time to listen, and I'll be seeing you again very soon. Thank you.